All right, Miles, let's talk Oklahoma Sooners football. Look, we got a team under Brett Venables that's looking to very quickly move on from a disappointing 2022 campaign, as they look forward to 2023 now that spring has wrapped up. We have some very interesting and I think very exciting news out of Oklahoma that shows the tide is definitely turning, and this Sooners team is going to be a whole lot better going into 2023.
Yeah, Nick, I think that this team is going to be really interesting and definitely some really good players to watch. I think Oklahoma fans are going to love the story that we have for them today. But I want to ask you, not today's players. Let's go back in history a little bit and tell us, who is your favorite Oklahoma defensive player of all time? I know that's very broad, so there's a lot of options there. If you want to give us a few from maybe secondary, linebackers, D line, whoever you want to do, let us know who your favorite Oklahoma defensive player is of all time. But Nick, nonetheless, what is the great news the Oklahoma fans have to look forward to?
Yeah, before you get into that, I obviously was a huge Roy Williams fan growing up, being a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. In my time, you had to be a Roy Williams, the safety going up. So I think he'd be my vote. But let's get into the story. Look, we know about when it comes to Oklahoma's defense, they were bad last year. We were hoping under Venables they would take a big step forward. They really didn't. But it looks like they may be turning the corner based on what the media and the writers and all the people making all the award decisions in college football are doing right now. Let's pull up the report here, Myers. This is from All Sooners. Oklahoma linebacker Dannystzman is already gaining acclaim for the 2023 college football season. Stutzman was named to the Lot Impact Award watch list for the upcoming season. Stutzman, a junior from Windermere, Florida, led the Big 12 with 125 tackles last season, including 10.5 tackles for loss and 3 quarterback sacks. The Lot Impact Trophy is named for College Football Hall of Famer and Pro Football Hall of Famer Ronnie Lott, a safety at USC. It's presented to the College Football Defensive Player of the Year, the whole defense, and utilizes the acronym for integrity, maturity, performance, academics, community, and tenacity. All right, so I understand a lot of Oklahoma fans are like, okay, big whoop, the guy's a good player. We already knew he's a good player. Here's why it really matters. These awards are only given out to players on teams who are generally good. You have to be part of a good team. You don't see a guy on a really bad team get some of these awards. Look at the guys who have won this award recently. You look at a guy like Aiden Hutchinson. You look at Monte Teo, like guys like that who are on really good football teams and were obviously really good defenders in their own right. To me, this is a sign that the writers, the people who judge these teams, these programs across the country, they're starting to come around to the fact that this Venables-led Oklahoma defense is ready to take the next step, and they're actually going to be a whole lot better next season. Because these guys, again, these writers, these analysts, they make a living by not being wrong. If they come out and nominate a guy and it turns out he's part of a terrible defense and he looks bad, they're going to look like idiots. They make their living on their predictions. They may not be 100% right. Their goal is to never be completely way off base. And you have a guy here in Stutzman who we all know is a good player, but if he would be part of a bad defense, these guys would look like idiots. I don't think they would do that, obviously. So I look at Oklahoma looking to take that next step, and I think this is evidence they're really starting to get that, and this Venables-led defense is going to be set up for a huge jump in 2023. Miles, give me your thoughts on this Oklahoma defense and Stutzman and just everything in this program right now.
Yeah, Nick, I'm just looking at the list of players here on the end of the article. And it's not just good players. These are elite players. These are all players who made the jump going to the next level. They say J.J. Watt, elite player. Luke Kuechly, absolute monster. Manti Te'o, very good in college, a serviceable starter in the NFL for many few years. Aiden Hutchinson, already starting to look like a beast. Will Anderson, we haven't seen him at the next level yet, but still looks really, really good. If Stutzman is up for this award, he is to be an absolute stud for Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is going to be one of the most potentially dangerous defenses in college football this coming season. We all know the offense has potential because it came out to a really, really hot start last year. I think it all kind of started to fall out after that loss to Kansas State a little bit. That's when things started to spiral downhill. But the offense has potential. Dylan Gabriel was a very good quarterback last year. This offense has a lot of weapons on it. It has very good potential. Now, if the defense can come up to the level it needs to be, and with Venables' coaching, I think that he has the keys to get them there. A guy like Stutzman already is a stud, but he could really shine on this defense, and you know that you would love to have that feather in your cap to coach a defensive player who wins the Lot Award. Have that on your team's mantle. It is looking very, very nice. And what a turnaround that would be. From going to have probably one of the worst defenses in all of college football last year to now coming the following year and having one of the best defenses with one of the best defensive players on it as well. I think that would be really something special. So I'm excited the nominations have happened, and I really want to see going forward what Stutzman's going to look like because I think Venables has something special planned.
Yeah, and obviously it's good news for the short term, but I also want to hit on the fact this is great news in the recruiting game as well, because you brought up the fact that the winners of this award are often NFL guys who go on to have very successful NFL careers. That really matters, obviously, when bringing in a lot of these big time recruits that Venables and Oklahoma are targeting. So you have a guy here in Stutzman, he's getting national acclaim, right? Oklahoma's defense is starting to get some energy. That's going to bring in a lot of quality recruits as well. So no matter how you look at it, both short term, looks like the defense is ready to take that next step, and long term, bringing in recruits to support the long term health of the program. Both things are heading in the right direction. This continues to be an indicator that Oklahoma is really poised to have a big bounce back year after a disappointing 2022.